What I want to talk with you about today are your options. There's going to be 3 options, in fact. So for those folks that are struggling in art, I want to give you different options so that you can find something that you can have success with. That's the whole point of this. We're using the elements of design to create artwork. So line, shape, form, texture, space, value, and color. And I wanted to show you some Zentangles first. So I'm going to try to be as brief as I can, but I want to think about how this is set up, because I think the biggest struggle that most students have is, how do I start my Zentangle? How do I set it up? What I want you to notice here, let's pretend like this is our sheet of paper. This is just a printed out copy right here. Notice how the student drew these different lines. I'm going to go through this. I'm going to highlight the actual lines that I see that divide the different spaces up. So you got a line here, you got a line here, you have one here, there's one going right here, and there's one going basically right here. We'll say that this is a different shape right here as well. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. On this project, I'm going to want for you to have 8 total patterns. So for those that choose this option, I want you to have 8 total patterns. I want to show you a couple different examples here for Zentangle. This is one way to set it up. That's just random shapes right there. Another way to think about it, this might be the simplest way. Your paper is going to look very much like this. Notice here, we've got 1, 2, 3 curvy lines, added 1, 2 going this way. That gives me 12 total shapes. That would definitely fulfill the requirement. I like the arrangement of this, and I also like the way that this is drawn out. Now for those that like something a little bit more free-flowing, this could be an option for you. The way this student did this, I think, I'm just taking a guess here, they probably started in the corner here, and they built up these layers. They built up these different layers that they added as they went. So that's another really nice way. This probably would be a more advanced way to develop the Zentangles. And finally, for those Zentangle people, I want to show you just a fun way that you could produce your Zentangle. And I can't fit it all on the screen, but I'll try the best I can. They spelled out Zentangle, and within the actual word, they developed the different Zentangles. So I thought this was really a creative approach right here. This could be an option for those of you that like that. Or you could spell out, I don't know, maybe shapes in line, because that's something that we're dealing with. You could spell out a word that would be an interesting word, put Zentangle in it. Notice that it's bubble letters. That's very important, because then you have some space to put it inside of. For those that choose the Zentangle option, we're working on a 6-inch by 9-inch sheet. So I'm going to expect you to really fill that up with some detailed patterns. That's going to be a requirement for those of you that choose that option. For those that choose value with form, I'm just going to breeze through this real quickly. These are already drawn out. These are just thumbnail sketches. You'll have this to look at, and I think that that's going to be helpful. One of the options is large and small shapes together, all with the same value. Another is a variety of shapes. I've got a cone, I've got a bowl, I've got some kind of tube here, a couple different types of cubes, sphere. These options right here are a little bit harder. They're not impossible. If you're interested in doing one-point perspective, either this way where you got boxes above and below a horizon line, or over here where everything's on the horizon going off in the distance, overlapping, I can help you with that. So if you think that you could tackle this, I've got a few students that have already chosen to do this. Choose it. I think that would be an awesome option. It would look really good for those that can accomplish that. It's an option, all right? It's not a mandatory thing. And finally, the final option here is this cube. And I went through and I went ahead and designed it up so that you can see. In box A, I did the line that loops back and forth. In box B, I did a Zentangle. That will fulfill the requirement of shapes. So I put Zentangle. Yesterday I didn't have that on there, but I'm gonna require that on there. So put a Zentangle in here. It only has to be one. This is from my texture handout. There's a handout that's in the handout sheets. So I went off the texture handout. I got bricks. This is like burlap. This is like wood. Down here, I'm starting to draw forms. I have not added value yet, but I would add value. Over here, I developed space. So it's just kind of a simple landscape going off in the distance. There's a lot of ways that you could develop space. You could overlap shapes in here. You don't have to do it the exact same way. And then on the your choice, booyah. So what I did right here, I just spelled out a word. Kind of reminds me of the graffiti stuff that we did, and then I just outlined it. This one right here, if you choose this one, I'm going to want you to add color to this one, and I will have markers out soon enough. Right now we're going to have the thin line Sharpies, so I'll put that under here. We'll have these available, and what I want to do now is I want to get our thinking towards what is it that you want to do. So we're going to discuss that now.